And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a little game called Get the Cheese. This is from Stronghold Games' Hisashi Hayashi, who's really well known for a lot of little games. And this is the kind of game where you're sending a bunch of mice to get cheese, but there's also cats and dogs involved in the mix. And it's kind of like play cards and try to outguess where the other players are going to play their cards, with a bit of a twist involving clockwise movement. I'll show you. So in the middle of the table, you're going to put a number of random cheese cards. That number is going to depend on the number of players in the game. This is a setup for a 4-player game. Each player is going to get a deck of cards in this card. In this deck, you're going to have mice. And this shows you how much cheese those mice eat. So you have 1 and 2. You have a king mouse here. You have a dog and a cat. Or you have 2 cats and 1 dog. And that's pretty much it. So mice, 2 cats, and a dog. Now, each player is going to shuffle their deck and put their deck in front of them, and you're going to draw 3 of the cards in your hand to start the game. On your turn, you have 2 actions. You can draw 3 more cards in your hand, although you have a hand limit of 6. So let's say you do that in your first turn. On your second turn, you can't do that action. Or you can play 3 cards from your hand. Now, when you're playing 3 cards from your hand, let's say, for example, that I have these 3 cards and I decide to play them. I'm going to pick a spot on the board to play one of my cards. So maybe I'll play this card here next to the 4 cheese. My first card I place face down. My next card in line I place face up. And my next card I play face up. So I'm going to play clockwise. Wherever I start, I'm going to play 3 cards clockwise. So let's say blue played one here, and here like this. Then wherever you start, you're going to play the next 2 cards clockwise. Your first one's always face down. The other ones are face up, except if they have a face down symbol on them, you can play them face down too. So here blue would play this face down, this one face down, and this one face down. So players are just going to keep doing that. They're going to play 1 card and then play the next 2 clockwise next to the cheeses, or they're going to draw 3 cards in their hand. And you're going to keep doing this till everyone has played all their cards. This is going to last exactly 9 turns. Then after everyone has played their cards, let's say these cards are here on this location, you're going to flip any face down cards face up, and then you're going to resolve everything. You start with the dogs. Each dog will look at the card directly next to it in either direction, and if it's a cat, you will take that cat as scoring. That cat becomes yours. So dogs happen first, starting from outside, working in. Then cats happen next. A cat will take out up to 3 mice that are directly in front of it, and it will take those mice and you keep them. So the cat gets rid of mice, as long as that cat hasn't been taken out by a dog. Then you will look to see, is there any king mice in the row? If there's king mice, starting from the end and coming in, the king mice move all the way up to the front. Then there's a certain amount of cheese. So let's say, for example, these 4 cards were left here in this row. There's 3 cheese. Each of these mice eats 1 cheese. So I can take, the blue player takes this as a scoring of 1. The red player takes this as a scoring of 1. The yellow takes this as a scoring of 1. And that's 3. So this mouse gets no cheese. So that's the end of that. And that's it. All the cards that you take, whether you take cats after you get them with the dog, or mice if you eat them with the cats, or just taking mice because you eat the cheese, are going to count as points. And you add up all your points. Whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Okay, so this is typical. There's other games that have been made like this over the years. Nobody But Us Chickens is probably one of those where everyone play a card at the same time. In this one, you're playing all these cards, and then at the end of the game, you resolve each one. And many of the cards are placed face up. Many are played face down. I would say it's about 50% are face up because your first one is always face down. Then the other 2 you play are face up. But some of those cards are face down, so you're usually going to utilize that to its full degree. So there's a lot of face down cards. So you're watching what everyone plays. I'll play a 2 mouse right at the front of cheese. Well, someone's going to play a cat right behind it, right? Because they want that mice. Or they'll wait till there's another mouse there. Someone else will come in, then someone plays a cat. Then I play a dog right after the cat. Cats are usually played face down, though, so maybe someone puts a mouse there, hoping I put the dog there. Then they put another mouse, and they put the cat after that. The dog catches nothing, then the cat eats those mice. And so there's that kind of think, double think. Well, there's no way you put a cat there. It's too obvious. But I knew that you would think it was too obvious. therefore I put a cat there. And then just the whole idea of placing one and then placing the next two clockwise. There's nothing really like spectacularly new about this game. I've played games before you play stuff and do it clockwise. I've played games where there's mice, the cat, the dog relationship and trying to outguess opponents. But this one works really well, and it's not that long. You take turns, you put it around, and then each one you flip the cards over and fulfill it and see what happens. It has a cutesy theme, right? People like the whole cat, dog, mouse thing, and I enjoyed this one. So definitely a fun little game. Get the cheese. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.